Some banks are very good in rushing and quickly getting up the systems, but some banks are slow and are still improving.
People in our age group tend to be very exposed to banks, right?
So I think most of the scams happens, or most of the scams happens through the apps, is because sometimes user download unauthorized softwares. Even our phone, some of you are using Google or Android phones for that matter. The phone will advise you, are you sure you want to open or you want to allow this site to be downloaded, because then it will expose all the security. So be very careful what you download.
You have to understand what changed, okay? How technology changes consumer behavior. We're talking about Gen Z and millennial right now. So BNPL is a perfect solution for them, right?
Yes. Me being me, I tried one day personally. One day told my children I forgot to bring my wallet. And I said, have you got your phone with you? They said, yes. Let's take care of the bill, not the wallet. Hi, good afternoon and welcome to our podcast entitled Banking in the Cloud. Before we start, I think let me just share what is this podcast all about. Basically, the objective of the podcast is to share information. I think I'm from the fintech background, and I think our guest is also from fintech background. I'm hoping today what we deliver, what we'll address, and what we share will be helpful to you as a user, to you as the digital user, and to you also as a bank, whether this will help you or not. Hopefully we can at least touch you and help you in some way or another. Okay. Now, the delivery of this podcast will be santai, will be coffee talk. In Malaysia, we call it teh tarik. So we'll discuss over teh tarik. I think we can see some teh tarik here. Then after that, of course, with the invitee, with the invitee or with the guests, there will be multiple series of topics and discussion that will take place. Some of it probably be serious, some of it probably be in a santai way. However, the content, please look at the content, because the content is very important for all of us. This podcast is our first podcast, and we intend to do it in multiple series. So as a user out there, as a social media user out there, do give us a feedback. What topics do you want us to mention in the podcast? Who do you want us to invite for the podcast? We'll try our best to address all this so that your next view on our podcast will be more meaningful. And please comment and share. Please positive comment and share, or even negative also. We'll be more than happy to take up your comments, and so that we can improve, since this is our podcast sessions. Now, let me just introduce myself, a very simple introduction. My name is Roslan bin Rais. Experience in banking, and right now with fintech companies. I think my banking experience over 30 over years, and my fintech company is about 5 to 10 years. So I think this should be a good platform to share. And let me just introduce to Mikey. Mike, maybe you want to introduce yourself, Mike?
Sure. My name is Michael Yeoh, and I've been in the fintech industry for more than 10 years. And I believe that this podcast is very timely, okay, as we try and discuss topics that could be close to your heart and that's trending. At the same time, it matters how we can decipher all the so-called keywords or the buzzwords, what is relevant to your industry, what are truly the digital platforms or the solutions that are viable for your organization, or even for your self-learning or personal development point of view. Okay, and we want to make this very casual, like what Encik Roslan has said, santai, all right, and we do appreciate all constructive comments and feedback.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Thank you very much. I think that the topic for today's discussion is banking trends and innovation. I think due to COVID back in 2020, prior to COVID, all the banks have their plans, all the financial institutions have their plans to digitalize, to improve the bank further and further, but then that remains the plan. Comes COVID, you have no choice. Yes. Because the delivery of service, the capturing of customers, the onboarding of customers no longer can be face-to-face. It be more electronic. So some banks are very good in rushing and quickly getting up the systems, but some banks are slow and are still improving. But we see a lot of trends, a lot of changes happening, a lot of apps, a lot of innovative by the bank. So maybe Mike, if you just maybe share some what is happening in the market out there.
I think that's a very relevant question. Now, I think the pandemic within the financial industry has actually come a long way. Okay, and I think a lot of people don't realize is that during COVID, many organization or including financial organization had to actually quickly digitize the customer journey in terms of providing the products and services to the end user or to their customers. But as you know, digital transformation doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
So those banks, the bigger banks or organizations that actually had a digital transformation roadmap prior to COVID, coped very well. And that translated to actually increasing their market share.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
I think what's stopping the banks from quickly implementing their digital plans prior to COVID, they have digital plan, but the execution doesn't take place. It's also the fear, a fear of what digital will do, what will be the result of digitalization, uncertainty in that particular sense. But I think as we grow in today in 2023, we see both banks with digitalization, banks using fintech as a tool. I think the bank grows very well.
Yes, I do agree with your statement there. But again, when it comes to digital transformation, I just want to touch on something that is not widely discussed. Okay, is that if you look at the bank, now we are talking from a Malaysian perspective, okay, because this is a Malaysian kind of podcast. But the digital maturity of the bank itself and the environment and the landscape of the country is very important. Okay, Malaysia is very blessed. We have, I think, one of the best 5G speed in the ASEAN region. Okay, so during COVID, I think the major banks did a really good job in terms of their digital transformation, in terms of dishing out, more digital channels to be able to serve their customer base. But at the same time, also it was a rationalization, so to speak, from a cost perspective, that a lot of the major banks actually shut down branches, right, to streamline their operation, right, and to of course get a faster and better ROI out of their digital transformation plans or investment. Okay, and banks also realize that with COVID, it forces the acceleration of the adoption of digital channels by 3 to 5 years. So it was not a bad thing for businesses, because eventually they would have actually come to the end of the line anyway of digital transformation, right? But it helps to accelerate everything. Right. But digital maturity plays a very vital role. So we have to know, for the country, for example, if you're a bank in Cambodia or a bank in the Vietnam and Thailand, so it's a different types of digital maturity in terms of the what do you call that? The digital maturity of the environment of the country, like the telcos. Are they offering 5G? Do they have data centers established that is basically benchmark international standards? Which I think our other podcasts will dive a little bit deeper onto that, because that matters also, because as the title of this podcast suggests, banking in the cloud. Okay, cloud is a very important topic that we will touch on.
I think for the cloud, we can do it on a next series, because I think clouds not only involve the provider, but also I think in terms of regulations, in terms of the authority, what are they looking at? This sort of
Absolutely.
But coming back to digital banking, we have seen some local banks, some bank growth tremendously, but we still see some banks are trying, but they're having challenges. I'm not sure whether that's maybe because of the reluctancy or getting the wrong partner, or maybe because they are not so-called maybe confident, or they are not 100% sure that digitalize well. I think I'm sure as a user yourself, we have I think a few banks account. We have one bank that is I think it's now my favorite. We use it on almost every transactions, transfers, that sort of thing. So it's just like handphones, even without your thumbprint, face recognition nowadays, you can easily log into the apps and use it. But there is still some banks out there facing challenges, despite what is happening in the market. I don't know, Mike. Maybe from your perspective, why are they not? Is it because of lack of budget? I don't think so, because
Yeah, I don't think that's one of the key reasons because I'm also an avid user of mobile banking, and people in our age group tend to be very exposed to banks, right? So, we own a bank account since like, I don't know.
We used to go every month to the bank and pay
Yeah.
through ATM all our
My,
bills.
my first bank account I opened was not in this country, it was in Australia with Commonwealth Bank of Australia. And I also have a ANZ bank account back then, right? But people like us in our age group, although we're not that old, okay, we get an opportunity to see the transformation of the technology
Yes.
that is being used by the banks
Yes.
to serve the customers, right?
Yes.
But over the last, I think, 10 years, a lot of things have changed from brick and mortar banking or over-the-counter services to internet banking.
I think that the technology is not growth this way, but the technology have accelerated this way.
Yes.
So as our age group, or even so-called senior, like at this age we call ourselves senior. if we didn't follow with the
But we're still young at heart. Yeah.
technology happening in bank,
Yeah.
I think we'd be left behind. I think we'd be running around all over the place trying to settle our bill, trying to get balances, trying to do transactions. That sort of
True,
things.
but you see, adoption of technology is not one size fits all.
Correct.
Like I'm considered a very early adopter, right? I like to look at new technologies and use it from a user perspective.
Yes.
Right. I mean, if you're going to do a survey, you can just go to any post Malaysia and you can still see many older generation people still preferring to pay their bills over the counter.
Yes. I think that that's
we already passed COVID, right?
Agree.
Yeah. So
But I think something need to be done with the user who is not we call it. I'm not sure whether we call it unbanked or unserved, but probably with technology, they need to be educated. But then again, this is a matter of
a personal preference,
personal trusting,
right?
The
So
technology.
with every technology that comes into play, we cannot expect 100% adoption.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
But we have already passed the S curve in terms of adoption for digital banking.
The Gen Z, our children, our grandchildren, or the way they do banking is
it's only mobile first. They do not want any other digital channels except the touch point has to be their mobile phones, right?
So you're right. Mobile phones everywhere. It's just mobile phones. It's not about WhatsApp, social media, these sort of things. That's where they actually do their banking transaction. And me being me, I try one day personally. One day, told my children I forgot to bring my wallet, and I said, "Have you got your phone with you?" They say, "Yes." Let's take care of the bill, not the wallet anymore. So my wallet, my thickness of wallet has increased from this size to about this size. There's only, I think, my IC and my driving license and probably a cuts, 1 or 2 cuts in it. That's it.
So that's a very valid point you brought up, right? So right now it's all about wallet. So basically e-wallet to be more specific, right?
Yes.
So you can see that the majority of the bank's mobile app are pivoting towards a wallet kind of environment, where the user experience is far more simplified rather than the banking app that we are used to at the very first,
I think
considering
it
first generation mobile banking app, right? And the first generation mobile banking app is very transactional. Okay, it's not designed for our user experience, right? For the ease of use. It is basically more towards providing us with an app that we can use to transact right, our banking transactions, which of course the Gen Zs and the millennials,
this is what they want.
They don't want that. They don't want transactional. Now they want experiential with a lot more value added in it. Okay, which I think you will go through some of the survey
we have done
data.
some survey. Later on, we'll go through some survey. What are the younger generation looking at? Be surprised because some of them are looking at things that, hey, we thought this can be done yourself. No, but they want the apps and the wallet to do this for them.
So the other thing that I want to touch on is that early on I mentioned about experiential, right? So right now, if you notice, wallets are all, like e-wallets are designed for experiential, okay? And I think the use case that was very successful in ASEAN region is of course the super app concept, right? That was basically pioneered by, of course, Alibaba. Okay, and they are the one who create Alipay, all right? And Alipay, as you know, has came to this region and partnered with a lot of other e-wallet providers, including Touch and Go. They even have a partnership in Thailand, Philippines. Philippines, the well-known one is Gcash. We have more than 70 million active users, right? So this super app concept right now is popular because it's experiential, because you can do almost everything in the app. And it has an app to take care of your journey from the moment you wake up, okay, and until you basically finish work and go back home or done your job for the day. So it takes care of all your journey. So that's the concept that it's moving towards.
Yes, I think the younger generation would love that, because this is the time where they use a super app and everything is in their fingertips. Yeah? Okay, with that, let's take a break for a 5 minutes break, and we'll come back after this break and discuss more on the super app. Okay, right, see you guys later. Okay, welcome back to our podcast. I think, Mike, where we left off just now, we're talking about super apps. Maybe I think we can cover super apps in a later series. I think this is a good topic to cover in depth.
Definitely.
But generally, as a user out there, as customers out there, as people on the street, what exactly is super apps?
Okay, I think the most relatable one is, of course, I think everybody is using it right now, your Touch and Go e-wallet, right? So, but I think not many people will use a multitude of the so-called mini apps in there. Like for me, is I recently discovered that using the mini app of parking is very, very handy for me. Right? It saves me a lot of time. Doesn't matter where I park, because it's location based. I just click on the mini app, I open it up, it will tell me where I am, and then which is the so-called local council that's in charge, right? And then I just go 1 hour, 2 hour, and I just click and I pay.
Yes.
Okay, no longer looking for the coupons,
the meters.
I mean, it saves me so much time, and I don't have to worry that I'll get someone or not. See? So that's one of the plus point of being a value-added feature within the e-wallet itself. Because it's a super app, right? It has other mini apps embedded in it.
So it's basically a banking applications, but have multiple functionality that relates to other products. Example, parking, example, your groceries, example, your savings for that matter. Because some of the super apps offer savings. You can put aside X amount of ringgit every month or every day for your shopping, for your holidays, that sort of things. Yeah. I think if you have some of the super apps, I think both of us have actually consumed or actually using the super apps. I think ultimately there's no need to go to the bank, and that's why the government have approved the digital banking, because in digital banking there's no brick and mortar, because everything is done online. Yeah, I think our survey, some of the question or survey we relate to that, and these are the expectation of the user, the younger user, where they do not want to go to the bank, they do not want to physically move about doing the transaction. Savings can be done through their super apps. What do you call that? Placement of FD, transaction, purchase, booking of airlines, booking of hotels, all is done in the super apps. And I think if you miss out as an audience, as a user out there, if you miss out, we would suggest strongly to actually look at your apps that you have installed on your phone and fully utilize it. And I think in terms of security, be assured, I think the security now by the banks or by these e-wallet providers are well secured, and they have been tested, they've been hacked many times, are well secured. So there is the chances of you losing the money using the apps, I mean being stolen or being misplaced is minimum, very, very minimum. Correct, Maya?
Yes, of course, having said that, it's up to the user itself to protect your personal data. And as the bank has already been communicating, scam alerts and fraud, what do you call that? How you're going to educate yourself, not simply answering to any SMS or emails.
And install anything on your phone.
Those are very important, but again, you have to know, and although they can educate you over and over again, but if you do fall into those traps,
I think most of the scams happens through the apps is because sometimes users download unauthorized softwares. Even our phone, some of you are using Google or Android phones for that matter. The phone will advise you, are you sure you want to open or you want to allow this site to be downloaded, because then it will expose all the security. So be very careful what you download. But if you remain very careful and you do download unnecessary apps, I think the banking e-wallets, the super apps is safe for everyone to use.
It is safe, but I always like to give advice to my nieces and nephews. Digital solutions or digital products that you can access via your mobile phone are also products.
Yes.
Okay, so products are consumed in many ways, and digital products, you consume it digitally via a mobile first approach. So you have to be very careful. You have to set certain principles in actually consuming the product.
Correct.
Okay, first of all, you got to make sure that if it's dealing with money like an e-wallet, then you got to really, really be careful in the sense that, you got to ask yourself, is the provider safe? Are they registered, with the Securities Commission? The banks, what is their track record, right? In terms of fraud prevention, etc., etc. Okay, those are the things that you need to ask. You need to ask questions. You cannot just consume blindly because digital solutions are so accessible nowadays. Right? It's so accessible until you stop thinking about.
Yeah, about it. Actually, actually, Mike, you're right, because sometimes it get me thinking. There's no thoughts to it.
No, it's
either your face or your finger, and then whatever is at your fingertips. The rest you don't think about it. It's just the transaction just take place as it is.
Exactly. So it's human nature where there's a saying goes, we have itchy fingers.
Yes. But your point is correct, because on the scamming, on the alert, and also on the passwords and sort of things. As a user, we need to control it a lot. We need to be very, very certain of what we download, what we use for, and who do we give the information to, because a lot of phishing emails, messages is coming in. I think be prudent on replying to that messages. Who are they to call you? You need to question that. What business do they have with us? If they can't fulfill a simple answer, who are they and what business they have with you, or what transaction they have with you, and I would suggest you stay far away. And I think some of the scam refers to the scam in the market right now that offers you money. I tell you, money doesn't come free. At our age, I think nobody gives you free money. So there's always a catch to it. So please be very, very alert. Do not simply give your banking information, your personal information, because this allows hackers to come in. This allows scammers to come in and use your account. Yeah,
absolutely, I agree to that.
Okay, we talk about younger generation, niece, nephews, children as well, grandchildren as well. Their expectation when you talk to them, maybe Mike, if you can share a little bit, what is the younger generation expecting? Old people like us, senior people like us, we are happy. Sometimes we are kind of taken aback because the innovation went so fast. I remember from my ATM, then I go to internet banking, then I got my mobile apps. Now I'm using wallets to pay this sort of thing. The innovation is so fast, and sometimes you stop and say, oh, wow, it's so fast. And you're quite surprised of how fast from 2020 and now it's 2023. In 3 years, the technology, the banking innovation have accelerated so fast.
Exactly.
And this is quite not scary, but quite when you look at it, you look amazed. As a senior here, we are very amazed on the transaction. But then I think to the younger generation, to the Gen Z, I think millennium is more or less our age. They experience the growth. But to the Gen Z, their banking transaction, or when they start having a bank account, immediately is wallet already. Immediately is super apps already. It's no longer about ATMs or cards for that matter.
Correct.
Yeah. Maybe Mike, you want to touch something on the younger generation?
Yeah.
How do the banks or how do the businesses attend to this? How do we attract the younger generation to be more involved in this digital super apps, e-wallet, this sort of thing? And how could the businesses out there, tap on this? Because they are the Gen Z, they are the future of the country.
Yes, there are some interesting data that I would like to share with our audience. Is that the Gen Z and the millennial segment or population accounts for, in the next 7 years, they will account for almost 70% of ASEAN population.
70%?
70%. So the ASEAN population is expected to grow to 700 million in another 7 years. So by 2030, right? And can you imagine this group Gen Zs and millennials accounts for 70%. So we're talking about around 450 million people,
So
right?
if you don't target them, if you don't,
It's not about not targeting them.
but if you don't conduct your business to make sure that they are keen to do business with you, you probably be left out.
So we go back, we take a little bit, another step backwards, because we have to understand what changed, okay? How technology changes consumer behavior. So I think this is a missing link here that a lot of people don't get, okay? That's why you were mentioning earlier on that some banks are doing really well, some banks are not in terms of the digital transformation, right? So this is one of the elements that why some banks get it wrong, because they don't understand the consumer behavior of their market segment that they are targeting. Okay, so there's a disparity between what the banks think that customer need and what the customer actually needs, right? And consumer behavior is something that you will have to actually understand. Digital marketing, you need to do your census, you need to do your surveys, okay? And it all depends on how mature the particular bank is in understanding their customers. Okay, what are they looking for? Does the digital solution or channels that they're providing suits the consumption behavior of this target group of people?
Yes.
Okay, so if you understand the consumer behavior, the pandemic has accelerated the change of the consumer behavior.
But if you're saying that 70%, by what year is this?
2030,
By
in 7 years.
2030, another 7 years, 70% of the population is Gen Z.
Yes.
So if I'm a business owner, if I'm a bank right now,
Yes.
that would be my priority.
Of course.
So I think they probably right now it's probably not in their age yet to open a bank account. But by 7 years, they probably legally or 18 or the parents can open an account for them.
Correct, but you will assume that half of that 70%, would already have a bank account, but they are very fussy and they don't mind shifting. There's no loyalty. For them, it's experiential. Okay, and the Gen Zs and the millennials right now, they are very social users. They are very savvy in social media. So they don't look at traditional advertising for them to come and use your service or you can to sell them that way. Okay, they look at market influencers. Who are the influencers? Who are the trending people or cool people that they follow? And this is the new type of marketing that is very effective right now. Not like the traditional.
I think
advertising that we're very used to, right? TV, radio, newspaper,
flyers,
right?
And we hear what friends say, but
you see a flyer stuck to the pokok, right?
Yeah. I think
it's gone. Those
you're right, because
those are legacy already.
I think you're
doesn't
right.
apply anymore.
For business owners out there, whether or not you like it, this 70% will comes to you, comes in the market.
Correct.
And if you don't take opportunity to actually improve your services, improve your delivery,
absolutely,
you're gonna miss out.
Correct.
You're gonna miss out. Yeah, people like us. I think in the traditional banking, we have our priority customers, we have our so-called non-priority customers, we have target customers, but these are the people, the Gen Z, which is coming into the market by 2030.
2030, another 7 years.
7 years.
It's very short.
It's not far away. It's not far away.
It's not far away.
It's only standard 2. Standard 1 is standard 1 or standard 2, so it's not far away.
And if you look at the much international or regional banks, they do get this. Okay, if you look at their digital transformation roadmap or what they have actually executed, they do get this.
Yes.
So that's why the bigger banks like Standard Chartered has spun out their own digital banking arm, right, in Hong Kong. And of course, we have other banks that's also involved in actually getting a license in the digital banking space. For example, like in the Philippines, we have Union Bank, okay, having their own digital banking arm. And a few in other countries, some banks are following that footsteps as well. Because one more interesting fact is that it's not only that 70% of the population will be Gen Z and millennials, but because the fact that the greatest generational wealth transfer will also happen.
Yes. I think you're right, because
that's where all the money will be, 70% of it.
Yes.
So the banks need to have a chunk of that now. They got to start planning now, right?
Because I mean, looking at how the Gen Z, in terms of the economic, in terms of their economic stability, in terms of what they earn in the market right now, these sort of things. I think you're right, because with 70%, they can afford more things. They can pick and choose of what they want. So if let's say the businesses out there or the banks out there does not approach this group of customers and does not make it easy for them, you're going to lose a big chunk of the market, big chunk of potential out there.
Exactly.
And sorry to say, but if you decided not to proceed because whatever excuses you're giving yourself, you're going to miss it. And when they fall in love with one particular business, again, as Mike said, there's no brand loyalty, but because of ease of use, because of ease of transacting, because of ease of getting the products, getting what they desire, they will stick to it, because there's no loyalty. There's no we use our parents, even ourselves, we look at, hey, we stick to that particular brand. Die, we must go that brand. No more. I mean, we look at the Gen Z, no more. It's about, you are able to deliver me the service, you are able to deliver me what I want.
Yes, service with what do you call it, reasonable value.
Yeah.
Without compromising on quality.
Yes.
So I can really relate to the younger generation, because I consider myself a person young at heart, right? So I shop. I also shop. I don't shop on Lazada anymore, right? Like as in, like, I used to buy clothes from Lazada, but now I don't.
Okay.
Because the fashion there is kind of a bit old, you know, and the quality not very good. So I've shifted to Shine, right? Okay, which is like spelled SHEIN, right? And I can tell you the value that I'm getting is so much better than major retail shops with brick and mortar.
Yes, I think the traditional brick and mortar retailers is basically being used right now by the consumer to actually see, touch, and feel, but not buying.
Yeah, and going back to consumer behavior, so you notice that a lot of fintechs are playing in the most what do you call that? I would say value addition to the users. Okay, one of the what do you call it, technology that I want to talk about, the solution fintech space, is of course BNPL. Okay,
buy now pay later.
Yeah, buy now pay later, right? So buy now pay later is booming right now, right? Because number one, during pandemic, it facilitated the acceleration of this particular industry, buy now pay later. Right now, it's accelerating because credit crunch. Okay, banks are tightening up their lending. Okay, and what do you call that? Practicing very robust risk management in terms of who they give loans to. So there's a credit crunch. Okay, so guess what? BNPL is in the perfect space, right?
Yeah, but
because young people
don't misuse it. Don't over purchase and buy now pay later, because that will burden.
We're talking about Gen Z and millennial right now. So BNPL is a perfect solution for them, right? Where they're using newer alternate scoring. Okay, they don't need to go to the bank and give a whole bunch of documentary requirements for them to be able to get a credit score, right? So these young people, where do they go? Easy access, BNPL. I've been using, almost, for example,
I think it's instantly approved, isn't it? Or almost.
Yes, because they would, before BNPL, they would probably be using something like GrabPay or Grab service. Or any other kind of apps that require certain transaction, right? But small transactions, right? So from that data, they are able to kind of give micro or nano loans. To me, BNPL is like micro and nano loans. It's no difference. It's like under the category of microfinance. Okay. So you have ecosystem of players right now. You know, partnering with very famous e-commerce platform like Lazada, Shopee, and now you have all the merchants are involved, because merchants with brick and mortar, they know that they have to come on board and be part of this ecosystem. Okay, but the technology allows them to get more customers using this BNPL platform. So they have to be a merchant partner.
So in the background, if you're looking at BNPL, in the marketplace example, we have certain marketplace, popular marketplace. But in the background, this is what AI comes in to do the evaluation. AI will help this so-called this marketplace or these banks or credit companies to actually get the data and run the AI and emulate whether this group of people or this client is good credit.
Correct. Yeah. You can do an alternate scoring using AI as part of the methodology of scoring these people with very limited financial data that
Yes,
exists
yes.
in so-called in the marketplace,
Yes,
lah, right?
I think the traditional banks where we look at secrets, we look at CTOS, and where is this person employed, that sort of things. I think that with AI, I think the credit scoring has evolved in the sense that they are now looking at this group of customers in their database. So, for example, the marketplace, they have their own database, age 25 to 30, how is their behavior, what do they consume, how much, what is my, based on my experience right now today, what is their credit scoring. So from
Yes.
here, I think the so-called the marketplace provider
Yeah.
will start giving
Correct. I think this
buy now, pay
space,
later.
yeah, I think this space will become very interesting
Yes.
from what I can see because of the prevalence and the adoption, mass adoption of generative AI.
Yes, yes,
This will be
yes.
a very exciting part of a technology that will see a lot of innovations.
Yes, I'm smiling not because of anything, but I think Mike touched on the words AI, artificial intelligence, generative AI. I think this is going to be a good topic. I think let's say I'm telling my team now, let's put this generative topic as one of the topics.
Yes,
and I think
it's a separate topic.
yeah,
It's
separate
very
topics.
granular. We need to go a little
Yes,
bit more.
because then I think as a consumer, as a business owner, they need to know what actually is generative AI and that sort of things. I think this is one topic by itself, or we can combine with another topics to discuss on AI. Yeah, I think this is very good. I think we touch a lot of things, Mike. We touch a lot of things today because again, this is our first episode, and today we are talking about innovation and technologies that's available. So again, as I mentioned earlier, clearly this will be a generic first podcast.
Yes.
Just as a call, door opener, just an introduction for the audience out there, for all of you out there, to actually listen. Hey, we are going somewhere. So I don't think we can.
And we want you to join the ride.
Yes, I think what we want to do is we want to bring you into our journey. Whether you are IT savvy, you are not IT savvy,
Yeah,
you are
doesn't
business
matter.
owner, you are
Yep.
consumer, you are user, come on board. And I think I hope our sharing is more into layman terms where everybody can understand. And that will help in our day-to-day life. That will help as a business owner. Again, yeah. I think great, Mike. Great. Thank you. A good sharing. We have done actually a survey. I think we have done between the age of 18 to 54. I think those who have responded, this survey is done by my team. We have done it about 2 weeks before this podcast. About 53% is from the age of 25 to 34. So this is where the population will grow by the time in 2030.
Exactly.
These are the 70% of the market they're talking about, and hopefully this survey will represent what we mentioned just now. Okay, so one of the questions we asked is that which of the following features or services do you consider most essential when choosing a bank for your daily financial needs? 62% of the population mentioned mobile banking. No more online banking, no more internet banking, no more branch banking, no more ATM banking, mobile. Now, this is not my words, this is not my words, this is from the survey. So 62% mentioned about mobile banking. That means you just want to use this. Yeah.
Yep.
Anywhere you go, this is your lifeline.
Correct.
Correct, yeah? So I think
It's a mobile first consumption behavior.
It's surprise what a handphone can do for you. It's no longer about communication, no longer about WhatsApp. It can do many things for you. Okay, and then another question is, how satisfied are you with the accessibility and user friendliness of your bank mobile app and online banking platform? 50% says they are very satisfied. And I think this 50%, of course, we don't ask them to spell out the banks, but I think these are they are using the top 3 leading banks. I think we know who they are in the market in Malaysia, and we know who they are. What apps are they using? Yeah. In your opinions, this is the next question. In your opinion, what can banks do to make it easier for you to manage your budget and savings goals? Yeah. So what can the banks do to make it easier for you to manage your budget and goals? Now, In traditional banking, we go to the bank, we have the salespeople there, the so-called the salespeople or the investment people in the bank coming in to advise us. But then again, now with this, it's in your mobile apps, yeah?
Yeah.
So we have 34%. They wanted budgeting tools in the apps. So we can see some of the leading banks, they have money for your holiday, money for your theater, money for your flight ticket. You are setting aside this money. It's not that they're blocking the usage of this money. They're just putting it aside so then you don't overspend. But if you need that money back, you can immediately transfer it back to your normal account and use it.
Yeah,
So
which is already available.
Yes.
I think in the local term they call it tabung, right?
tabung, yes.
So you can set your tabung 1, tabung
Correct.
2, tabung 3,
Correct.
and then you can also add boosters to it.
Correct.
So these are what the younger
Yes.
people want because
Yes.
maybe they lack the discipline to save. So
Maybe.
they want to put it into something that can be automated for them.
Maybe because they don't want to go in and out, taking it out. Because with mobile apps, you can just like,
Yeah.
you know, while you're not doing anything, you can just use it and put it aside.
I can relate because it took me it's so easy to set up the tabung and it's super quick time that I set the boosters, right?
And the communication I have with my children is about, I put in my tabung. I say, hey, where's your tabung? You better keep it safe. Actually, it's in the apps.
Yeah, it's digitally.
the apps, yeah?
It's digital, yeah.
Okay, I think last question from the survey. Of course, later on in our next episode, we continue the survey. The last question is, have you encountered any challenges or frustration in your interaction with your bank customer support or service teams? If so, what were they? Okay, 48% replying long wait time. Okay, 25% says unhelpful responses. 50% says technical issues, and 12% says none. That means 12% have none, but majority is about long wait time. And I think the consumer nowadays, the customers nowadays are not willing to wait. If you are slow in your service, the customers have other options. The customer have better options, yeah? And they can just walk away. And again, it's all in the fingertips, yeah? So if I go to a shopping mall and if I couldn't buy anything that I want from that shop, the phone will tell me where to go for the next one, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Mike, anything else you want to add on before we conclude this podcast for today?
Not really. I think we covered quite a wide, area.
Yes.
And I think we touched a little bit. Yes, to the audience, it's a bit high level what we are speaking about, but because this is our first podcast, we want to let our audience have a feel about the main issues that currently I would say people are interested to listen to, and hopefully, our objective of getting the feedback from our audience, then we can kind of like look at it more focusedly by the topics that you guys are needing more illumination.
Yes.
How to separate buzzwords and what's reality, what can be practiced, and also taking into consideration that in the banking industry, banks can't simply just launch any digital products for you, but they have to go through a very stringent regulatory and compliance journey, okay, in order for them to be able to provide you that service, because as you currently know, there's a lot of scams and fraud going around. So privacy of data and all those other very sticky topics needs to be addressed, okay, according to Bank Negara's rules and regulation, right? So hopefully we're able to illuminate you more on that. And come and join us in this journey where we explore further. We learn how we can break down together complicated topics that are floating around in the social media. But we try to do it in a way that is that can be understood by the layman.
I think what we have covered today, many aspects, as Mike said correctly, we have covered many aspects. Again, this is our first podcast, so it's basically a review or an overview of what the next podcast, the next series will be all about, where we'll go into details. Do give us your feedback. This podcast will be posted in our FB, in our YouTube, and our social media. And let us know what we can do to make it better and what will be more interesting to you, right? So with this, I thank you, Mike, for coming here today.
No worries.
Okay, and thank you all for listening to our podcast. Let's see each other on the next series, Meanwhile, stay safe, be healthy, and do take care of yourself. Bye.
Bye.